what's this? Maybe I'll just take a thing or two. Now, where do I... This gun seems alright. Yeah, I'll probably just vendor it. Ooh, credits. Mr. Washington. Now give it... Oh yeah, give it... Get down! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now! You're not attacking me alive! What was all that noise? What the hell? You killed Bill! Oh. Carry on.
Hey everybody, before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you enjoy our content and want to stay up to date with our videos, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Thanks. So, on to the video.
Hello and welcome back to my channel, Random Drop. This week, I really want to talk about Starfield. Now, this game has been in development for quite a while now. Bethesda announced it. They announced it around the same time they announced Fallout 76, I believe. Man, that was a fucking journey, wasn't it? Yeah, Starfield. It's been in development for quite a while now. There hasn't been really a main Bethesda game since Fallout 4. And Fallout 4 was met with, like, overall positivity. Some people being like, hey, it's a little bit too much of the same, but it runs like shit, but man, I'm having fun playing it, right? And I think that's the general consensus on Fallout 4. It's like, hey, more Bethesda goodness, right? You're going to get huge value out of this game and be immersed in this incredible world that is the Fallout world. Overall, it was meant as a, hey, this game is good, right? It didn't blow anyone's mind, but hey, it was good. Comes out 76, the giant disaster, which I've heard has gotten better now, but I'm not going to go back to it, man. Now we are here today with Starfield. There's a lot going on around about this game, right? Especially with like the console war people who have like, it goes both ways, right? There's the crazy PlayStation fans that like can't see any bad things about their game, and the other way around too. Many people have given this game a 7, and there's some really cringe ass posts out there like biased reviews and all that. But all the hundreds are the correct unbiased reviews, and all the 70s are those are the people who have with the bias. But anyways, Starfield is a 7. It's the most 7-ass game I've played in quite a while. It is good. It is solid. It doesn't do anything amazing. And where Starfield's strength is, but also its very noticeable weakness is, it's a jack of all trades, master of none. It has combat, exploration, crafting, spaceships, role-playing, leveling, right? But it does all these things, but none of it is special or done particularly well. I remember playing New Vegas and Fallout 3 and being so blown away by like the choices you could make of, can I shoot this person or not? But games have evolved since then, and sometimes, especially, man, coming after fucking Baldur's Gate coming out is the worst timing, because there are so many ways to solve a quest in that game, and this game there's not. There's 2 ways to solve a quest, or lots of times 1. It's very rare where you go into a quest and you're faced with multiple interesting outcomes. And I mean interesting outcomes, right? Because there's lots of times where it's just like, I don't know, give me money and I'll take care of it. And it's like 4,000 credits. Motherfucker, I have 500,000. I don't know what to do with money in this game. So like, it's very funny because I played a lot of this game, and I think like 60, 70 hours. And anytime I come up to a quest and they're just like, oh man, I don't know about this problem. Man, well, if someone could pay me off. And it's like a pittance. And then like just like avoids the whole quest. It's like, would something more interesting happen if I didn't pay him off? Or if I didn't persuade these people? And lots of times, no. Lots of times you go back and reload it and it is just a lot of the same shit. Or it was just an illusion of a choice. And there's some good quest lines. There's some genuinely interesting quest lines in this world. Initially, the world didn't grab me because it's too like, it's trying to be very scientific in like how it approaches everything, right? So, and it's very much taking a stance of like, hey, there are no aliens other than alien life, but no like sentient aliens that are at our level at our level of technology, right? There's no one out there other than us at this point in this story. So alien life forms, there's life out there, but it's like rhinos and shit, right? Or big buck monsters. So there's the world itself, like, seems very bland, and there are a couple missions like the Terramorph missions that I found very interesting. But as I got more and more of the world, it's just like this bland ass, like, yeah, it's more people. It's Fallout in space, right? But at least Fallout had like crazy mutants and shit. And like these aliens that I'm fighting aren't that crazy. I get lucky if I fight one that like spits acid at me or something. There's no giant worm monsters or like, I don't know, man. I'm just looking for something crazy. Like the going to the Fallout world for the very first time was incredible and mind blowing, and it was so cool, right? Stepping into that world for the first time. If you'd never been introduced to it before, and Fallout 3 did incredible work on that. And going to this world, it is, I guess you just have to be very into the NASA punk thing, right? Like big, bulky, padded armor, and stuff like that, right? And padded rooms, and like it looks like just a bunch of NASA bases thrown together. And it has its own aesthetic, but I just don't find it. After many hours into the game, at a certain point, it's like, man, I'm not gelling with anything here, right? And the same thing with the characters and the story. It is all very well made and well done, but there's nothing special about it. There are large events that happen of like, no, I don't want to spoil things, but things happen in the game and they try to evoke an emotion. It is not there. There's no way it could be there. Your animation system is too jank as fuck. It pulls me out every 5 seconds, right? I feel like I'm talking to computers every time I'm playing this game, and I feel like I'm combating it in every way. But overall, like, really, when I think about my long journey playing through this game, I think it's a good game. Starfield is a solid 7. Sorry if you can hear my dog's barking. Starfield is a solid ass 7 game. It is well made. It is just not a master at anything, right? It is not gonna blow you away. Other than the shipbuilding, I guess, could really blow you away. But there's nothing to do with the ships. You fly a little bit, but most of it's fucking loading screens. But I digress. It is just not impressive in any way. It's impressive in terms of like the amount of shit is in the game and the generation system they built. But as a player, it did its job of sending off my brain chemicals of me going to places, collecting loot, looting shit, managing all that stuff, shooting people. And I played 60 hours of this game, right? I didn't drop it. There wasn't anything other game wanting to pull me away that hard, right? Because I played 200 hours of Baldur's Gate. Like I needed to step away from it. So hey, let's do this very different thing. But what this game made me want to do is, man, I should really fucking play Cyberpunk again. And now I'm just waiting on that patch. And that's like what I got out of this game, is like, man, I really like the flow of this game, right? I like the loop, but I wish it was in a world I liked. I wish the combat was better. I wish the dialogue and NPCs were more interesting, all that stuff. And it just made me immediately think, oh, Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, initially, if you played it on PC, was like an okay game. I would probably put it on the same level as this game, right? It was overhyped, and it ended up being like, okay, it's been patched a ton, and now it is a very good game, and now it's going to get a patch that hopefully makes it excellent, right? And maybe they can do that here with Starfield. It's improving a lot of the systems, like the space stuff, but a lot of it seems like it's just going to require a whole new engine or a massive amount of work or overhauling, because, man, the structure of the game is probably my main complaint. I would have rather had this one world be in one world, or maybe a couple worlds, and limit their sizes, right? Just kind of like how Outer Wilds, not Outer Wilds, but I don't know, the other games, Outer whatever. This is like a Fallout-ish space game, thing made by Obsidian, but they very much made it a small scope, right? They're like, hey, let's do one of these games, but put it in a small scope. They could have done that here. They could have put 4 or 5 planets and made the space. You could still have kept the space part and have that be more interesting between where you're traveling between the planets and shit. But no, they wanted to do this whole universe and add auto generation. They wanted to make the forever game. They did make the forever game, but why? I personally don't want to play this game forever. I barely want to play it 60 hours. Once I finish this campaign, I'm never going back again. I have no attachment to characters, anything like that, right? So I got my dopamine hit out of it, and I am moving on. I am never going to remember this game down the line. It shoots well, it played well, all that stuff, and it did its job of like entertaining me, yeah. But when in a year of so many incredibly excellent games, Starfield kind of just falls flat, and it kind of does the bare minimum to keep my interest. But hey, if you like the game, that is great, that is awesome. It is a game that you are going to get your money's worth very easily, right? But man, there's just so many glaring issues with it from a studio that shouldn't. I mean, they have like all the money in the world at this point. They should not be having these problems. But I think this game was over ambitious. It needed an early access or something. Like, it needed someone to go to the studio and be like, hey, we should change some stuff. Because yeah, like most of the games in menus, and I have so many like little nitpicks about it, right? Like, why do I have to undock every time I dock to a space station? Why do I have to get scanned every time I go into a world? There's so many like little things where you're just constantly micromanaging dumb bullshit, and just it got to me over time. Again, and I've kind of gone on for a bit now here, but I think this game is a very good game. It is a rock solid ass game, but when you compare it to everything else this year, you should probably spend your time somewhere else. But if you're looking for that game, it's like, man, I can only buy one, and I need like the forever game, it is right here, especially if you like that loop. Yeah, I would have been very disappointed if I didn't get this thing on Game Pass and paid full price. And yeah, I hate to come off so negative on it, but that's how I feel. Even though I put so many hours into it, right? I feel like a person who ate the meal and is complaining to the chef or some shit. and it's just my critical brain, right? My video gamer brain is being like, I had fun. I played it for 60 hours. Like, I played it, right? But when I think about it, what I did in those 60 hours, I think about like, man, what actually, like, where did I actually have fun, right? When was I actually interested in the character and stuff like that? And it's just nothing, man. I feel nothing after I beat this game. It is just a series of like interesting-ish quests with a really good loop. The loop is so good. It is like, I describe it as addicting, right? When people were talking to me and I was like kind of saying like, I'm really not edging with this game, they're like, why are you playing it? And it's just like that dopamine, man. It's just like there's this loop that it gets you in, and am I enjoying it? And there's lots of people who are gonna just love that loop, but there's so many, like, I want a bit more substance in my games. I want combat that challenges me, character customization that is interesting, stuff like that, right? This is like junk food in between, you know, me waiting for another large course meal. And man, we had just had Baldur's Gate 3, which was the biggest meal of them all, and now I'm hopefully, with Cyberpunk coming out, is another large meal. But I don't want to play 2 open world games back to back, so I need to just wrap this shit up, get it out of my life, and just wait for Cyberpunk. And that's how I feel. Again, just to summarize, I think this game is a good game. I think it's super solid, but it is nothing amazing coming out this year, especially. It is just good. A very good loop, a very solid product with many, many, many hours, but it's just another one of these, right? You have played this game before, and that's where I'll land on it, man. Hey, leave a comment below. How did you feel about Starfield? And I will see you on the next random drop review. Bye-bye.